Yo, what is good, everyone? Happy mother freaking Friday. Coach Des here. So I'm actually going live in our OPN group and my personal profile. So if you are coming on and you see me, say what's up. Don't be a lurker. A lot of you, and I see a lot of you like just out randomly. You'll talk about how like you watch all of my things and you're so proud of me, and it's so cool to hear that. And at the same time, when I'm on here and you're on here, say what's up. Just say what's up to me, because I always like to make sure that I'm engaging with a lot of you, not only just like as like Desi, the nutrition coach, the dietitian, but also like Desi, the person, the dad, the husband, all the proud things that I am. So as you're coming on, let me know if you are team live or team replay in the comments. And we got a big thing today, and I'm super excited about it. Because when we talk about the power of dairy, and we talk about how to bridge this dairy gap, and it might not mean a whole lot to you right now, but special shout out to Yoplait. And so they're sponsoring this message. And when they first reached out to me, they're like, "Hey, Des, like we have this idea. We have these findings that we think are really important, that we really think that a lot of people can gain a lot of insight. And because you're mostly speaking to parents, we would love to partner with you." Now, let me kind of provide you with a little bit of a side note. So all my Latinos out there, you might know what I'm talking about here. So if you ever had grandparents or parents that stored like chili or beans in containers, like what were those containers? They're either like the the butter containers, or for us, it was a lot of Yoplait containers. And so when they first reached out, I was like, dang, I remember Yoplait was such a huge staple in a lot of our lives. Like I remember like rushing out to school, grabbing one of the containers and just like scarfing it down right before I get in the car to go to school. And so for us, like I was super excited to be able to partner with them and to really explore on their findings, because when we talk about the dairy gap, what they found was so cool, because it's things as dietitians that we're always tackling. We're always tackling key nutrients with childhood development, and also just helping parents to navigate the huge web of nutrition. And so when they reached out, I was like, dude, 100%, I'm totally in. So there's actually the flyer that I'm going to be talking a bit more about is actually in the comment section. So you should be able to download that flyer. And really anything that we talk about today, be sure to not only just engage, but take a look at it, start to ask yourself questions, have conversations in the home about like, okay, like how do we want to interact with this info? Because it's huge. It's huge. And I thought when I read it, I was like, yo, like a lot of people, a lot of parents, especially that are looking to navigate better lifestyles, not only just for themselves, but also for their family, could really resonate with a lot of this. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right. So what is the dairy gap? Like what does this even mean to us all? Right. And so what I thought would be cool kind of sharing this infographic that you're going to have access to in the comments was a couple things. So the new 2020-2025 guidelines, dietary guidelines just came out. And what we found from that is, again, when we look at the guidelines, they're looking at preventative ways for people to live healthy lifestyles. And so we're navigating against huge risk factors. And so when we talk about something like osteoporosis, which is a huge thing that's happening right now, we look at dietary choices. And one of the things that they found is like 3 cups of dairy a day can definitely help with that. So what Yoplait found, what I thought was really interesting, was that 90% of people are not meeting that recommended daily intake. And if we dive even more, that usually starts for people at age 4. So for those parents out there who have young children, and you're kind of thinking about like, all right, how do I navigate picky eating? Like, how do I make sure that my kid's eating enough? I can't tell you enough times that when a parent reaches out to me, one of the first questions first comments is like, hey, like, I don't know if I'm doing the right things. Because as parents, like our only thing is like, yo, don't mess this up. Like, and I'm like one of those people as well. So as we kind of dove in a little bit more, what we also found was that 45% of those same Americans were falling short of calcium, 96% were falling short of vitamin D, and then 71% were falling short of potassium. Now, big things that I kind of want you to wrap your head around as we're going through this is to kind of think about bone health. When we talk about those nutrients right there, especially calcium, vitamin D, and potassium, we kind of want to attribute that to bones. Right. And because it starts at age 4, this is really important. And this is something that we can all kind of wrap our heads around. It was funny because when I was reading some of the flyer and some of the survey and research to my wife, and she's like, oh my God, like 3 cups a day, like how would we do that? Well, one way to wrap your head around is to be like, okay, so as a parent, if you're responsible for, obviously for feeding your kid, and you're looking at breakfast, lunch, and dinner and some snacks, obviously yogurts and other dairy type items are perfect snacks. Like even as I'm doing this right now, my wife is out there creating a wonderful cheese board for us as like a lunch slash snack. This is something that you can do. And even if your kid is navigating their own process with food, and maybe it's just a little bit of picky eating, this is where smoothies can come in. This is where this can be one of the protein, calcium, and vitamin D sources that you throw into that smoothie, along with some other things. And so I felt like this would be a really good idea from the standpoint of exploring this dairy gap, and exploring that if more than 90 Americans are not meeting that recommended daily intake, the only facet to that is like, all right, well, naturally we need to add more nutrients in, and this is kind of where the dairy gap has its place. So as we go down a little bit more, what we found, also with yogurt eaters versus those who did not eat yogurt, is that the yogurt eaters actually were a lot more proficient in vitamin D. Like this infographic talks about a 48% boost in vitamin D, 28% calcium, and then 13% of potassium. Again, those three nutrients we kind of just want to think of as overall bone health. And so yogurt eaters have been shown to have more benefits towards their bones, and more benefits really towards a lot of vitamins and minerals that are responsible for health. And this is versus non-yogurt eaters. And so you're kind of thinking to yourself like, okay, like how can I get more dairy or possibly more yogurt into my family's diet? Well, it honestly just starts meal by meal. So if these are things that you have at home, you can add them in. You can add them in as snacks. I what I like to do a lot of times too is to try to be creative, because for me, like, just cereal and milk is just at times really boring. And so what I like to do is kind of do more of a cereal parfait, where the cereal is actually acting as the granola. So what you can do here is just continue to boost your intake by just continuing to be creative and to test things out. Because the first time that I did something like that, I didn't know if it was going to be good, but testing it out actually provided me with a really beneficial go-to. What they also found with, taking this survey with yogurt eaters versus non-yogurt eaters, was that at the same time, like there was a decrease in the amount of added sugar and sodium that those people had for those that ate yogurt. So again, we're looking at dietary behaviors as they're correlated with other health behaviors. There's no such thing as a perfect diet out there, but if you're looking to, and this is what I say in a lot of my lives too, like if you're looking to be imperfect, however consistent, this is one way to really increase your variety. And I think as you're going down a little bit more, like I highlighted it because I was like, yo, like this is for us, like growing up in a family of five. Obviously our parents did the best that they could, but one caveat to this was like, yo, you're feeding a lot of mouths. And for our parents out there, like if we're looking at a substantial nutrition source like this, it's 60 cents on average per container. Like it's not a whole lot of money that offers a really good nutrition punch. And that's why I think, kind of going back to why I was excited to partner with Yoplait, was because like at the end of the day, this is what we ate as kids and we really, really loved it. And two, it was something that was financially feasible. So it really met all of the needs of my family. And as I'm looking at it now, it's like, yo, as parents, we are looking to try to make sure that our kids are living healthier lifestyles. Look, we are trying to get them to like be more active. We're getting them to try more fruits and vegetables. This can be just another thing in the arsenal that can help you from the standpoint of navigating more balanced eating. And that's really what the guidelines were also about too, is just helping people to look at lifestyle behaviors and to really engage in those. And I felt like from the standpoint of what we're seeing with overall bone health, something like this, 3 cups a day could really, really help. And so, again, in the comments, let me know your favorite flavor of yogurt. I put the link in the comments for you to download this flyer. Put it up on your fridge. I think most of the time what I like to do with a lot of clients of mine is, if there's something that's really important, print this thing out, put it on your fridge so that it kind of reminds you. So if it pairs well, like if it's a snack or you're getting a smoothie and you're looking at this, it's like, oh dang, I should probably add some yogurt to this, or probably add some dairy to this, because dairy as a function is offering a lot of your 9 essential nutrients that your body needs and doesn't create, and so it needs it through dietary sources. And so that's kind of one way to kind of think about it from the standpoint of balancing your diet in a way that functions for you and your family. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. I felt like this project for me was really special. Again, kind of going back, Yoplait was a huge staple in my home. So to be able to do this and to partner with them, I'm super proud to be able to do it and to be able to provide you all with type of education and value. So let me know your favorite flavor in the comments. I'll make sure that I get back to them when I'm done with this. But thank you all. Peace.